I think that the best leaders on the planet are the ones who can train others to do the job and to succeed, and then to just kind of sit on the backside and admire that, look at what this person has done who's on our team, or this executive, or this individual, or this team. Look at what they've accomplished. And that wouldn't have happened had the leader not trained them and taught them how to do it and given them the ability to do that.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Leadership Stack Podcast, the podcast for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs to increase your leadership, teamwork, and profits. This is your host, Sean C., aka Mr. CEO at 22.
Because it's very difficult. You have to swallow your pride, and you have to put the foundation of the company and the priorities of the company before your own. I've made that mistake. And, fortunately, I worked for the family business that let me make that mistake, because had I not been working for the family business, it probably would have ended a little different.
Talking about working with others, I understand where you're coming from, because it is also something that it's not just about the system. There are also some people who are just hardwired that way, that we want to be independent. And then there are some people who are hardwired to be more dependent. They want to work with others. They want other people's opinion. I would say I'm one of those people who are just like you, who want to do things by myself. And if I can do things myself, I do them myself. You mentioned about teamwork. What were some of the lessons, the leadership lessons, I dare say, that you learned that allowed you to open up and work with other people? I hear a lot of humility from you right now when you said that, there are a lot of smart people in your team. Suddenly your eyes opened up to them. What was the journey leading to that, from me doing it myself to, hey, there's a lot of potential here I can tap into?
I forget the exact point in time, but at some point the light went off in my head when I realized that it's one thing to accomplish something on your own and say, I did this. Look at what I did. Look at the sale I made, the foundation I built. And I've always thought that that was the best, that that's how you prove yourself. And I don't think that anymore. I think that the best leaders on the planet are the ones who can train others to do the job and to succeed, and then to just kind of sit on the backside and admire that, look at what this person has done who's on our team, or this executive, or this individual, or this team. Look at what they've accomplished. And that wouldn't have happened had the leader not trained them and taught them how to do it and given them the ability to do that. So instead of looking in the mirror and taking all of the credit for yourself, it's turning it around. And my mentality is, as soon as I can get, or as soon as I'm given a task or a job within our company, I immediately think, all right, who am I going to train that's going to do this? And who's going to succeed? Who is the team? And then it's not Charlie getting the credit, it's someone else, which everybody kind of knows that, it all starts at the top. So who cares if you get the credit? Because everybody knows where it's coming from. You don't have to be that arrogant and that outspoken about it. And I say that coming from the person who was the arrogant and outspoken person, and sometimes still is. I'm not perfect. I'm still trying to improve myself every day. And I have a lot of help. I have a lot of coaches. I have a lot of teammates that are trying to help me as well. But that was the big shift, that you go from wanting and craving all of the accolades and praise and accomplishments yourself, to then understanding that just makes you look stupid when you need to train everybody else. You need to give them the praise and the accolades, because everybody knows where it's coming from. Like I said, that's a step in maturity that took me a while to figure out, honestly, because it's kind of counterintuitive that no, the person who won the race gets the gold medal. Well, that person never would have won the race without the speed coach, strength coach, the mind coach, all the people that are helping them. It's kind of like we always reward the quarterback, but what about the offensive line that protected them, and the receivers that caught the ball? So all these parallels, that the light went off in my head at some point within the past year or two, that is, just take a step back train your successor, do a really good job of training them, give them everything that they can, and you're probably going to be okay.
I love that you mentioned about the training and the coaches and all of the help that you get. Now I'm wondering, with all of these things that you mentioned and shared, what does a day of personal growth look like with you, Charlie? I feel like you're intentional about your personal growth. I mean, people don't just hire coaches. It takes a lot of humility to get a coach to coach you in your life and in your goals. What does a day look like for you with your personal growth plan?
Yeah, I it's that old adage, you schedule your priorities, and then you schedule around them. And my priorities are to take care of myself physically. So I am in the gym almost every day. I think that that's a cheat code for any entrepreneur out there. Take care of yourself, get strong, and get in really good shape, and you'll be able to reap the rewards of that. And sure, you're going to look good, you're going to feel good, but the rewards that come with, or rather to the brain and your thought process when you are working out your body physically, I think it's a cheat code. I'm also sleeping 8 or 9 hours a night. I'm not sacrificing that. I've done the waking up at 4 a.m. for 3 years of my life every day. And I think it's a tool. I don't think that there's I'm not going to shout from the mountaintops that I'm right and you need to do it this way, especially after some of the things I've already said on the podcast, right? That'd be a little hypocritical. But I prioritize sleep. I prioritize gym time. I do CrossFit, so that's my prescription, I'll say. But I just do anything, lift weights, do Orange Theory, hire a trainer, whatever. I try to be home at a reasonable time. I got 3 young kids. I want to see my wife and kids every day. So if that means I'm only working, physically working for 6, 7, 8 hours a day, then that means I need to find more time to work and be more productive on a Sunday during nap time, or a Saturday because I want to be home on Thursday night with my kids. So those are 3 big things that I prioritize. And secondly, I think that we should always be looking to learn, reading books, listening to podcasts. Those are part of my daily routine. Learning from the older generation, just having time to ask my dad a question because he's 67. He's been there, done that. I want to ask him what his thoughts are. Going to read a book written by Tim Ferriss where he has interviewed 400 of the smartest people on the planet and gives it to you in the form of a book. Here, read this. Here's the cheat codes to life. Just invest in yourself. And that's what my day looks like almost every day. If I can't work out, I'm going to walk. I'm going to be active. I'm going to get my 10,000 steps. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to spend time with my wife and kids. And I'm going to invest in myself with education. So then you might be asking, well, when do you have time to work? What are you doing? When are you running HR? When are you running the warehouse, which is our internal distribution? It's like, when do I have time to do all that? And actually, the answer is that I have trained and developed a number of people who are doing a lot of those jobs with me. So it's not all me. And I think that's the secret. I have an assistant that takes care of my calendar. I invested in that. I'm not trying to do everything myself. I ask for a lot of help from people. And then when they ask for my help, I give it to them. And I know that's a lot, but that really doesn't leave a lot of time for other things. So yeah, I don't watch a whole lot of TV. I don't go out to dinner and to parties every night. I don't do things like that because at some point you can only turn on a number of things. You can't turn everything on. You can't be all things to all people. So those are my priorities. I first prioritize myself because if I don't invest in myself, I'm not going to be any good to my wife and kids. So once I invest in myself, then I invest time with them. And then I invest time with education. And then I do some work. And then I train my team. And that's really all I have time for, because then I need to go to sleep.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's amazing. By the way, 4 a.m. Oh my goodness.
It was awful. I do not recommend doing that. Like, I sleep till 6 every day now. We go to bed between 8 and 9 p.m. But if you need to do what you got to do, I know a lot of really successful people that wake up at 3 or 4 in the morning, and it works for them. It worked for me for a couple of years. It's just don't be afraid to admit when something is not working and then make the change.
For my curiosity, how long does it take you to fill up 10,000 steps?
It depends on the day. I'll tell you, if you can schedule things where you can kill two or three birds with one stone, and hopefully I didn't offend anybody by saying that, my 18-month-old Banks, you're going to see me strolling him a lot. And we might be listening to an audiobook or a podcast while I'm strolling with him. And he turns around every 10 seconds to give me a high five. And I'm going to give him the high five every time because his smile just elates me. So really, I'm doing three things right there. We're exercising, we're investing in education, and I'm spending time with one of my kids. So, and all those are happening at the same time. And, if we walk for an hour, there's going to be 8,000 steps in there. And that happens 3 or 4 times a week. And same thing with the big kids. It might be a bike ride or a scooter ride. It's just, if you can exercise with your kids and do certain things where you're doing multiple activities at the same time that all complement each other, you can get to that 10,000 steps, or you can cross off all the things you want to do a lot quicker.
Oh, hey, and since you're here, can you do me a favor? Can you hit on the subscribe button and hit the bell button and select all notifications so that whenever we have a new video, you're going to be the first one to know. Until then, keep leading.
Do what you need to have a contract that's good and binding and both of you agree with, and that is to protect your relationship. Humans cannot operate just on trust value now, sadly.